This presentation is for parents and carers who want to support their child's play and communication skills. All of these pictures show play. There are many different kinds of play, and playfulness can be lifelong. It might involve imitation, exploring conscious and unconscious designs, doodling, having fun with others, practicing skills. It can be exploratory, role play, and social. There are different types of communication. Communication is more than verbal language. It happens when there is a sender, a message, and a receiver. It can happen through gesture, for example, directing someone's attention by pointing, or sign language, or Makaton, which involves adding signs to support key words in spoken language. It can happen through symbols, for example, to help make requests, or through objects of reference. For example, when a child brings a cup, they may mean, I want juice, more juice, milk, or finished juice, now play. So why is it important? Play helps children test ideas, practice how things fit together, and imagine scenarios beyond their experience. It has benefits for all areas of child development. Play develops a child's creativity, attention, and problem-solving skills. Think about a child playing with a shape sorter, or pouring water, or building blocks. They're practicing their trial and error strategies, reasoning, such as matching, comparing and categorising, and planning. Play develops children's relationships and social skills. In play, children watch what the other person is doing and is interested in, and learn to read facial expressions. When the blocks fall down, they turn to each other and smile. Children practice negotiating, collaborating, and compromising and sharing. It gives children opportunities to lead at times and follow others' lead at other times. It's fun and rewarding. Play develops children's self-confidence, especially if it's self-directed or the adult follows the child's lead. When adults play with children and accept their play, they give them the sense that they are accepted and acceptable. This is a really important early stage in emotional regulation. Play also provides an opportunity to explore difficult feelings or fears. For example, a child might play out something scary that happened to them, which helps them process it. Play supports language development. It provides opportunities to hear new words in a range of contexts and develops the idea of one thing symbolising another. As well as long-term benefits, play helps us at the time. It helps us feel good, a release of hormones that promote our sense of well-being. We feel calm and safe. These are play schemas. Schemas are patterns of repeated behaviour. By providing opportunities to repeat play experiences, you are helping your child create meaning in what they are doing to connect ideas about the world. Providing opportunities to develop schemas not only supports child development, but also lays important foundations for positive child-caregiver interaction, such as observing and being child-led during play. We need communication to meet our everyday needs, for example, to greet people, ask questions, organise play, maintain conversations, report our experiences and problem solve. It also helps our emotional needs. Being able to describe our needs and wants helps us feel we have some control. Being able to put words to emotions or understand others' language helps us calm when we're upset. As children's communication develops, they can use words or symbols instead of other communication, such as throwing something when they are distressed. Communication also supports future literacy. Spoken language comes before written language. Here are 4 key ideas to help you develop your child's play and communication skills. Number 1, follow their lead. For communication to be successful, people need to share attention. Too often, when people try to communicate, they both want to convince the other person to pay attention to them or listen to their concerns. If both people are doing this, we end up with competing agendas, but no communication. Whether we want to share some fun times with our children or we want to talk to them about something, it helps to start where they are. Remember, children engage more when we join their interests, when we tune in to where they are. It helps to get down to their level and be face to face. Play with what they are interested in, letting them choose the toy or activity. Respond to your child's communication and play. Key idea number 2 is be attentive. It's easy to miss a child's attempts to play or communicate with us. Often parents say their child isn't interested in communicating or playing with them, but psychologists and speech and language therapists notice all the small attempts children make to connect that can be easily missed by busy parents and carers. When we are really attentive, we tune in to all the small initiatives our children make. We notice more, and it helps us follow their lead. Think about the owl. Observe, wait, and listen. Key idea number 3 is help them feel successful. We all do more of what we feel successful at. If we want a child to communicate more, we need to help them feel successful at it. We need to give children feedback. It is surprising how often we think something positive, but we forget to tell the person. For example, we might think, that was good that they let their sister take a turn, but we don't say it. We are more likely to comment when they don't. Feedback is important. Some children need extra help to understand that we have processed their communication. For example, you may need to add a gesture like a thumbs up or nod your head. Key idea number 4 is consider your child's developmental level. Sometimes we may have too high expectations of our children and feel demotivated if our children don't seem to be doing what other children are or are having difficulties. Children will make the most progress if we manage the steps so that they can reach them. We need to think about children's attention, the language we use, what we talk to them about, and what they can engage with in their play. So to recap, follow their lead, be attentive, help them feel successful, and consider their developmental level. Next, we will look at some top tips for putting this into practice. The first tip is about joining your child's focus of attention. Try to find some time when you can pause and really focus on your child. Give them space. Give yourself space to wonder what your child is doing, thinking or feeling. Try to make sure your body language is friendly for your child. Don't rush in, but if it feels right, comment on what they're doing, using single words or sounds, like car, or simply ooh, wee. Notice any initiatives or invitations they make towards you, like looking at you. The next tip is about receiving your child's initiatives and invitations. Initiatives and invitations are ways that your child attempts to connect with you and invite you into their play or world. When we are being attentive, we notice them much more. Our children need to know we've noticed. We need to receive them before taking a turn ourselves. This helps the child feel like a successful communicator. Receiving can be returning eye contact, smiling, nodding, or repeating your child's words or actions. This is important for all communication. It's also a really important part of an approach called intensive interaction, which is a highly effective approach used to teach early communication to children who have severe learning difficulties and/or autism. After receiving the child's initiatives, we can take a turn. This keeps communication going. This can develop into turn-taking, but don't expect too much too soon. The early stages of being attentive and receiving the child's initiative are the most important. We're going to talk about how to build up your child's sense of success. It can be tempting to anticipate your child's needs, for example, noticing when they want a toy that is out of reach and getting it for them. Instead, allow this to be a chance for them to communicate. Be available and notice their attempts to ask for the toy and help them feel successful. Allow silences to give your child the space to start the communication. Avoid highlighting mistakes. If your child says a word incorrectly, don't correct them. Instead, say the correct form of the word so they have an opportunity to learn. Here are some tips about adapting to your child's developmental level. We need to think about children's attention. Young children and children with developmental needs cannot listen and do at the same time. It's important to gain their attention before speaking. Give time for a child to manage their attention and to respond. We might need to simplify our language. We also need to make sure we are making the communication relevant to the child, for example, to what they can see in front of them. Read books and sing to your child. Be careful with questions. For younger children and children with developmental needs, don't use open-ended questions. Ask questions with a forced choice. For example, milk or juice? Some children will need visual prompts to support their understanding. For example, it might help to hold your child's coat when saying it's time to go out. Or you may want to use symbols. Younger children and children with developmental needs won't be able to engage in complex play routines. They enjoy simple play equipment and lots of opportunities to explore and repeat short sequences. Our next tip is to keep using your home language when speaking to your child. Children need to learn a language from someone who is fluent in the language they are speaking to them in. This is how children learn the grammar rules and social aspects of language that are so important to communication. Once they have developed a good knowledge of one language, they will find it easier to learn another, for example, when they go to school. There are many things that can get in the way of supporting our children in the way that we want to. We are often under stress and find it hard to find the time. We might have other people competing for our attention. Sometimes we might compare our children to other children and feel that things aren't going well. Perhaps comments from relatives or friends can leave us feeling bad. We might have had past difficulties and be expecting to fail. Here are some more really normal reasons people can find it difficult. Perhaps our own experiences from our childhood weren't good. We may not have good memories of childhood and playing. We may not feel we have the skills to play. It can also be painful or difficult to tune into our child's world or their feelings. We might find it hard to let them lead. We might want to take control. We might be being too hard on ourselves. Maybe we have unrealistic expectations about what we can manage in a day or how quickly progress happens. When some of these problems come up, here are some things that can help. Try to value the experience more than the outcome. Remember, it doesn't matter what the Lego looks like. Be aware of your thoughts and try to reflect. For example, try to notice if you're focusing on what your child can't do rather than what they can. Be open to accepting help for yourself. It's a really good idea to have some playfulness in our own lives. Take some time to go on the swings, doodle or colour a picture, enjoy some fun times with friends. Do whatever restores energy for you. Be realistic and start small. You don't need to be attentive all the time. It's more important to aim for quality. 10 minutes of giving your child full attention and following their lead in play is great. You can aim to be particularly attentive at certain times. For example, when picking your child up from school, at dinner time and at bedtime. Thank you for listening to this presentation, which we hope has given you some ideas.